Hi everyone, welcome back to Alexis University. So today we're going to be talking about finding yourself, especially in college. I feel like that's when I had the most growth and I realized like who I really was as a person, who I wanted to be as a person, and who I didn't want to be as a person. I just found out so much stuff about myself. And I will say, like, those were some of the best experiences of my life, trying to figure out, like, who exactly I was and who I wanted to be as a person. So one thing I will say that's been helpful for me, especially now, as I just kind of come into my career, and I think I would have been better off starting this in college, like, who am I? So kind of starting a list about who you are as a person. So for me, I'm educated. For me, I'm a strong woman. To me, I am independent. So what are some of the things that you will say if somebody asks you today, who are you? What are some of the things you say? I know a lot of times we're like, whoa, I don't know who I am when people start asking questions like that. So if you start making a list today of who you are, that will be so helpful as you continue to get older and try to figure out like what are some of the things that you want to accomplish in your life? What is the legacy that you want to leave, whether it be at a school, with your children? What are some of those things that you need to start thinking about? Another thing to think about is who you don't want to be. So what are some of those things that you've seen around you, especially in college? There's a lot of new people there. There's people who didn't grow up like you did, because in high school, a lot of times, most people who go to your high school, they have a lot of similarities with you. Their parents wanted them to go to this specific high school. It's not that many students, but you have to think about it. Like, if you went to a private high school, but some of your college mates went to a public high school, or vice versa, whatever the case may be, there will be some traits that you see in other people that you will not want to see in yourself. So those are some of the things that you need to think about. Like, who do I not want to be? And that might be easier for you to think about than who you want to be, or who you are as it is today. But if you start thinking about, okay, I know I don't want to be this person, I know I don't want to be that person, that might help you with the list of who you want to be and find out like kind of who you truly are. So once you figure out who you are, or kind of try to figure out who you are, what are some of the steps that you're going to do to take you to the next level? So for me, I'm a journalist. I know I want to eventually teach college students journalism. I love my job as a producer at the news station. And so I felt like for me, knowing that I wanted to be a professor, I learned better from those who had been in the news business before. So it's never been I want to be in the news business or I want to be a professor. It's always been I want to be in the news business and be a professor, so I can teach the students what I have to do on my daily, everyday life as a producer in my field. It's like I said, it's never been or for me. It's been both and, like this, and I want to do this. So that's one thing I am doing with myself and my job. I'm making sure that I'm learning everything there is to know about being a producer, things that I may not need to know as a producer, just so I can be well-rounded. So people in my class don't want to be a producer, but they still want to be in the news business. What are some of the things that I can teach them? What are some of the things, tips and tricks that I can show them? Hey, if you learn how to do this, not only can you be a producer, but you can also be a writer, or you can be a photographer. What are some of those things that I see in the everyday news life that I may not be able to necessarily speak to as an expert, but I can still kind of give them those tips, or connecting with somebody who can also, give them more tips or more advice about something that they think that they want to do with their career. Another thing to think about is, are you comfortable with the person that you are today? If the answer is yes, then great. Just continue to be that person. But if the answer is no, or maybe, but not 100% yet, start thinking of ways to change that perception of yourself. Start thinking of ways that can make you better. Even if it's something as little as, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to eat breakfast, because I notice when I eat breakfast, I'm just a happier person that day. Something just as simple as that could just make you so much more pleasant to the world around you. You just never know what something that little can do to affect your whole day. So start thinking about, what are some of those things that I want to make sure that I am equipped with as I continue to find out who I really am. Another piece of advice that I want to leave you all with is, be okay with being uncomfortable. A lot of times people think that everything is going to go smoothly, everything is going to work out to their favor, and eventually, things will, as you continue to prepare yourself and make sure you're the best person that you can be. But make sure you're okay with being uncomfortable. And while you're uncomfortable, find ways to make sure that you get back to that comfort zone. Because essentially, when you're uncomfortable, that means that you're growing. And you're becoming a better person. You may not feel like that at the time, but you're growing and you're becoming better and better every day. So just find ways. I'm uncomfortable right now, but you kind of have to have a mindset shift and say, okay, I'm uncomfortable now, but that's just because I'm going through some things that will make me be a better person tomorrow or the next week or next year. So make sure that you are okay with being uncomfortable and find ways to help you get through that pattern when you are uncomfortable. If you have any questions about finding yourself, or what are some steps that I've done to like find myself, please feel free to email me at info@alexisuniversity.com, and I will sure to get back to you. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.